of life. And so everything around us requires energy, and so too does our body, our mind, and our spirit require energy for all-round wellness. And so we're truly vibrational beings. So we can use this energy, or what in other cultures they call chi, as a healing tool to heal ourselves, because it's absolutely vital for wellness. As we go through the slides, please stay right the way through the presentation, because we'll be giving away some freebies right at the end. So make sure you stay with us, you know, throughout the time. So this chi, this energy, as Donna Eden says in her book, Energy Medicine for Women, you know, is something that works on the inside. You know, it's the yin, if you've heard of that word yin and yang, you know, it's that yin aspect of us that helps us to really be receptive. It helps us to stay well. So this life force energy is universal. It embraces all manifestations of energy, you know, from light, heat, nerve impulses, thoughts, you know, but also the material aspects such as earth, the blood. All of this is different forms of energy. And this chi, it preserves and maintains harmony in all things, this energy. And therefore, when we maximize it within our body system, it preserves health and well-being. So we see this energy moving from the seasonal changes, from the event changes in our lives, and from our own body changes as winter to, you know, and to spring, to summer, etc. So understanding that is understanding that energy can't be created or it can't be destroyed. It just transforms itself, okay? So when this energy is not in harmony within us, within our being, where there is disharmony, and then we start to experience forms of unwellness, suffering, and disease, because the body's intelligence knows exactly what it needs. And if we allow it to, it will bring itself back into the center. It will bring itself back into a healing state, as long as we are not doing things that are totally aggravating, you know, or aborting this natural flow towards wellness. So as a practitioner, I work to ensure clients are working within their natural cycles, working within the flow of life, working to bring as much energy into their body system in order to stay well and harmonize the mind, body, and spirit. So next slide, please. So energy is truly an inside job. The physical world is nothing but a slow vibration of energy. And it's this energy that's the prime mover in all our lives. And it's responsible for everything that we do. So in fact, it's responsible for all of creation. So we can do a lot more than we're currently doing to maximize that life force, yeah, and allow it to work with us so that it can shape and attract us to the things that we need in life. So we understand that there's no life without energy, and we can learn to cultivate this energy through a range of movements and sounds and colors. We can start using and massaging meridian points in our body. We can use gems, we can use crystals, we can use other energy tools in order to infuse energy into the body and to maximize our healing. Now, these teachings have been passed on for thousands of years through ancient Kemet in Egypt, you know, the Taoist traditions of China, people of South America, Mexico, and so on. And so they have understood that energy is everything for thousands of years, and we are catching up with that now. So when this energy is not in harmony, yes, there will be unwellness, and we have to, well, we get lots of telltale signs, don't we, in terms of unwellness, joint pains, fatigue, lethargy, you know, arthritis, rheumatism, the list goes on, all the different ologies and isms that we have, you know, ailing us, ailing our communities. Next slide, please. So 2 ways that we can actually work with maximizing energy as a practitioner is acupressure, which is a way that we can actually work to clear the blocked channels in the body in order to harmonize the flow of energy that is coming into the body and working its way around our body to keep us in a balanced and healing state. And so many of us, you know, we've benefited from massage. So put a 1 in the chat if you've actually had a massage or experienced someone giving you a massage. It's a wonderful feeling. But also as a practitioner, I'm very much focused on self-care as well. And that means people learning the techniques themselves so that they can stay well. So the health and well-being benefits of energy work are vast, you know, and acupressure works on the meridian channels in the body that takes the energy through to all our key organ systems. And so once we know the key points, we can actually massage or we can pump them or press them in order to ensure that there's maximum energy flowing to those points to alleviate our symptoms, you know. So I have clients who, you know, talk about less joint pains, you know, less inflammation, their body starting to feel more energized, more vital, just a result of massaging these acupressure points. And so where there is any imbalances, acupressure is a great way of healing. So I'm going to introduce you, if you haven't already been introduced to acupressure, we're going to focus on 2 key points at the moment. One is called the inner gate points. And if you can just hold up you can use either hand, your left or right. But really, I want you to focus on 3 centimeters just below the crease of your wrist here. Yeah, you'll feel an indentation and you'll feel it slightly sensitive. Now, this point here, once you massage it, you can massage it anti-clockwise or clockwise. This point is extremely good for any stomach ailments, indigestion, or just the nervous system disorders such as anxiety, etc. So let me just turn my hand so you can see. Yeah, can you see that? Just 3 centimeters below the wrist there. You'll feel a little indentation. So just massage that for a little while. You know, if you were feeling anxious, you're going for an interview perhaps, you know, or you're going on a date, you're a little bit nervous. You know, you can actually massage this point and no one needs to know that you were nervous or anxious. And actually it helps to balance out the nervous system after just a few minutes. The other point, which is also key, is the Hegu point. The Hegu point, you know, is associated with the large intestine. And so here we're looking at the place between your thumb and your index finger. There's a point where the 2 of them meet here. Yeah, so just rub that for a moment and you'll feel that that's really sensitive. Yeah, can you feel that indentation there? Now this point, if you place your thumb on the point and your index finger around the back, you can just massage this point. And you can massage this for about 3 minutes. And this really helps with any arthritic pains, any tension from the day, severe headaches and migraines, sore throats and constipation. So this is a real good all-round point to use just in your day-to-day self-care. And you'll find that as you start to massage them, the energy starts to flow a lot more smoothly in that area and is directly going, because this point goes all the way through your body. It starts to take that energy down to the, you know, to the organ related to it, which is the large intestine. So Celia just asked, why is that energy, why is that area sensitive? Now, if you're feeling some either pain or a little bit of discomfort or oversensitivity, that would suggest that that area is a little bit blocked. and you'd want to do some more work massaging that point, maybe every night before you go to sleep, because that means that the energy is not flowing smoothly in that area and it's causing a little bit of discomfort. So the more that you get used to working with these points in the body, you wouldn't then feel that oversensitivity. So I hope that clears that up. So just the simple things like that. So get in touch with acupressure, or you can talk to me at another time about looking at your specific ailments and which points are, you know, going to be useful for you moving forward. Next slide, please, Lena. So energy work really is being more and more recognized in traditional, you know, conventional healthcare systems. A lot more conventional health practitioners are starting to identify the benefits of energy work in their healing. And in a world where modern technologies are taking over, and I mean taking over our lives and our children's lives, you know, what we're finding is that the ability to sense and feel energy is actually being atrophied, is being hindered, you know, because people are not taking time for self-healing, they're not taking time to recover, and they're totally being bombarded with technologies, EMFs, you know, toxins and chemical drugs. So we can use energy medicine and energy healing tools in order to improve our senses, increase our intuitive healing abilities again, and in order to heal ourselves and others. So things like magnets or crystals or acupuncture, acupressure, tuning forks, EMF shields, etc., they all help to harmonize the body's energy fields. And if we don't make appropriate responses to the energy shifts, this may tilt into a pattern of disharmony and subsequently would lead to illness or disease. So it's really important that we do things to counteract this constant bombardment of excess toxins coming from, you know, the modern day world, so to speak. And I say modern day world with, you know, inverted commas, really, you know, in terms of sometimes we progress without looking at the whole, you know, in terms of making sure we have that balance. Next slide, please. So in an amazing book that I recently read called Stress Free for Life by Dr. Ra'u Nefer Amen, and if everyone hasn't read that book, you've got to read it. He reminds us that stress is not here to be managed. It's not something that we are there to manage. So whenever you read something about stress management, you know, question it, because stress is there to be eradicated. Yeah, so for instance, if I had a pin on my seat and I just sat down on it, I'd be in serious pain, and I'd want to not move the pin somewhere around the chair. I'd want to take that pin and remove it from the chair, so I'm not experiencing any pain. So that's Dr. Ra'u Nefer Amen. I'll put that in the chat in a while. So many in our lives believe that age is synonymous with pain, and that's absolutely not true. Getting old gracefully does not mean that we have to start to feel pain. They're not synonymous. So basically, the body, when we're experiencing pain, it's just the body's intelligent way of saying there's something wrong here. The body is not in homeostasis. There's a telltale sign, and we have to get to that root cause. And it starts with energy. Yeah, it starts with energy. So in the energy work that I do, I introduce postures, breathing, movements, colors, and sounds in order to accelerate and infuse energy into your body, to give the body, make it more equipped in dealing with the external toxins that can sometimes derail us. And so in this way, it's a self-care activity that allows the body to get back into its intuitive capabilities for us to form a better union with ourselves again. The body is truly an amazing and intelligent thing, you know, entity. And so it knows what it needs. So by using natural treatments and things that actually are in line with nature's vibrations, it brings the body back to its essential intelligence to restore harmony. The next slide, please. So one of my teachers, Dr. Tao Napata, he always says that it is the yi that leads the chi, meaning it is the mind that leads our energy. And I don't know if many of you have experienced that. Sometimes you're having a thought that something is against you, or something is antagonistic to you, or something is a threat to you. And immediately, what happens? Put it in the chat. Your gut starts to rumble. Your body starts to clench up. You start to feel sick. You start to shake. How does it, share in the chat how that affects you? Because immediately that we have a fight and flight response based on our thoughts, so it affects our energy, and our energy immediately gets blocked and stagnated. And that's something that we have to look at in terms of the thoughts that we accept day to day, that things are against us. So rather than look at something as terrible, we can actually say, this is an opportunity to grow. Yeah. Rather than seeing the man or the woman cutting us up in the traffic as against us, and we get road rage, we just say, okay, maybe it's time for me to just sit in this traffic and be patient. Maybe I need to learn that patience. Someone's saying painful jaw and neck, so yeah, absolutely. And what that does is it blocks all the energy channels in the body as soon as we start to harbor those emotions. So what I'm going to do now, onto the next slide, I'm going to teach you some basic energy balancing techniques that you can do at home, and it helps you to stay well and stay balanced throughout the day. So what I'd like you to do, folks, if you can, is to just stand up. Okay, so the first one is called stacking. And all I want you to do is just put your feet flat on the ground, parallel, so that shoulder width apart. And I want you just to let your hands flop in front of your thighs. And you are literally just going to touch your heel and bounce your heel on and off the ground, letting the rest of your body just literally flop. And visualize yourself just getting rid of all the stagnated energy in your body. See it just drifting out through your legs. And let the rest of your body just flop as your heels are bouncing up and down off the floor. Now, I tend to do this for about 10 minutes in the morning, but for now, we're just going to do a minute of it. And just do that for a little while. And then just stop. And immediately, you're going to feel different, aren't you? You're going to feel energy starting to move around your body. Some of you might even start to feel very tingly sensations in your hands and feet. Some of you might start to feel energy moving all the way from your toes right up to your head and round, circulating, because you've already just revived yourself. Another movement that you can do to assist at home, you can have your right hand alignment with your chest and your left hand just around your navel point here. And what you're going to do is slowly turn. So you're going to breathe in at the center and then turn your body to the right. And then change your hands so the left is at the top and the right is at the bottom, and breathe out, turning to the left. Breathing into the center and out to the right, changing the hands each time as you rotate from left to right. And what you start to find as you do this, you're breathing in at the center, then out to the left, in at the center and out to the right. Immediately, what you start to do is bring a surge of energy to the body, which starts to harmonize the nervous system It starts to activate the kidney meridian points and the adrenal glands in the back, which helps to activate your detoxification, getting rid of toxins. And you're breathing in the middle and out to the left, in the middle and out to the right. And then just relax. And the last movement is called massaging the chi ball. Now this is allowing you to get a sense of this energy. I don't know, some people talk about healing hands, etc. And that's because you have 2 points here, very important meridian points, where a lot of energy enters your body at these points. So that's why these two are very critical. So masseuse use these energy, or Reiki healers, they use these points a lot in their work. So what I want you to do is just place your hands a few inches apart. And I want you to focus on your breathing right now. So we're going to breathe in as we expand. And as we breathe in, we're pushing our lower abdomen out. And as we breathe out, we're pulling our lower abdomen in. We're breathing in, pushing our lower abdomen out. Breathing out, pulling the lower abdomen in. Breathing in, pushing the lower abdomen out. Breathing out, pulling the lower abdomen in. In, pushing the lower abdomen out. Breathing out, pulling the lower abdomen in. Breathing in. Just close your eyes and keep that going for a few moments. In and out. And you'll feel your hands start to radiate and feel very, very warm. And that's a great indication that energy is now starting to infuse into your body, circulating round, getting to all of the organ systems and to the brain, allowing the blood and the energy and the lymph to start flowing in an unobstructed way. In and release, and just let your hands flap down again in front of you. So if you were in one of my classes, obviously we'll do a lot longer, but let's go on to the next slide, Lina, and I can talk to everyone about some of the sharing from, the next slide, sorry, yeah, after that. So Qigong energy work has been around for thousands of years. So how was that? Pop in the chat. Did you feel any difference in your energy? Did you feel any difference in your mind just as a result of doing those 5-minute exercises? Well, some of the people who've been attending my classes online have talked about developing an internal quietness, which is great because they're always so busy. Others have talked about becoming very fired up and motivated. Some people have talked about their breathing has improved, they're sleeping better, they're finding it much more calm and relaxed in their approach to things, and generally feeling more revitalized. So let's look in the chat and see what you can, yeah. So, so you talked about tingling sensation. Well, that's good because that's that energy starting to actually come into the body and work itself round to those organ systems. Sandra, you talked about feeling a lot more calmer. Yeah, you started to yawn. That's good because really we are in that receptive mode, which is 8 p.m. And so what we're wanting to do is start winding down, getting into that yin energy and doing things that are far more relaxing and calm in the evening. So I hope you enjoyed that. And obviously, if anyone wants to speak to me on a one-to-one, we can give you my details later, where we can actually look at setting up, either you can take part in the group sessions or one-to-one on breath therapy, chi work, energy work, or acupressure self-care. So thank you for listening, everyone. And over to you, Lena.
Thanks, Simone. That was great. I love it. That first one, especially, I really felt it. I mean, we did it earlier when we, you know, went through presentation. I didn't feel it as much, but I really felt it this time. Also, was it when I closed my eyes, I felt like I completely lost my, you know, footing there. I mean, I actually nearly fell over. Why's that? You know, is it normal?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes because the energy is swirling around you and within you, sometimes it can feel a bit destabilizing when we first close our eyes. But in time, the more you do the exercises, what it will do is make you feel very, very grounded. You won't get those sensations.
That's great. Cool. Thank you. Well, that was brilliant. So I know we've been talking a lot about energy, and there are so many aspects, really, you know, there's so many things in our lives that affect our levels of energy. What I couldn't figure out for a little while, especially with the lockdown, because I was eating healthy, I was exercising, I was meditating every day, but I felt definitely more fatigued. And I know so many people, so many clients and friends and colleagues have experienced very similar symptoms. The energy levels were down, they weren't sleeping properly, they had headaches. And I almost thought that there was another kind of epidemic happening, until it dawned on me that it was really our surroundings, our environments, that was affecting our levels of energy. And actually, even by environments, I don't mean, you know, what's happening on the other side of the world, but what's happening in our houses, in our households, in our gardens, in our kids' schools, in our offices. And we already know that industrial particles have deeply polluted our environments. But then there is also a matter of electromagnetic radiation. And electromagnetic radiation comes, you know, from natural sources like sunlight and thunder and lightning. But then it also comes from man-made sources, and that's just all the gadgets that we surrounded by. It's our mobile phones, laptops, printers, wirings under the wall, sockets, hair dryers, hoovers, smart meters, 2G, 3G, 5G, 10G, whatever those Gs are. But all of this create massive external stresses in an environment really where our bodies are just not designed to live, and certainly not thrive. Back in 2011, it was in Kenya, they did a study with a beehive. They took a beehive and they separated it into two hives. And then in the first one, they put a mobile phone, just about 10 minutes a day, and they did it for 3 days. After 3 days, the bees from hive with the phone, they never returned. In fact, they actually stopped coming back day one. They just thought, no ways. The queen bee, the queen bee, yes, she would normally lay about 300 eggs per day, and just after 3 days, she would lay just under hundreds. So 10 minutes a day, 3 days only. That's all it took. And today, it's not even enough to like hold the phone to our head and talk on it. We actually physically carrying these gadgets on our bodies. You know, how often do you see men putting it in the pockets? And ladies, like in summer especially, I see them pulling it out of their swimming costumes, their bras. So, you know, we swim through that sea of electromagnetic radiation, and then we wonder what happened to our health, why we feel so lethargic, why we are fatigued, and we've got headaches and insomnia. So the World Health Organization, back in 2011 already, they declared the exposure to wireless radiation as carcinogen. And the usage of cell phones and cordless phone has been linked to increased brain tumors. What's actually quite scary, and it's scary because, I mean, I've got teenage kids, is that in 2018, there was a study done that found that it had an impact on a memory of teenagers who only used the phone for 1 year or less. And the wireless radiation, even at the very slow levels, have been shown to change brain activity. What you must also understand is that, guys, can you mute yourselves, please? Whoever is talking, thank you. What you must also understand is that children will absorb a lot more of it because their skulls are just so much thinner than ours. And I know, I mean, there's a whole about conspiracy theory, I guess, about electromagnetic radiation, because you're being told it's fine, it's a non-ionized radiation, it doesn't damage our health. But what not many are talking about is that even that non-ionized radiation can be classified as two types, thermal and non-thermal. So what the thermal radiation means is the change in temperature. Now, when we talk on our phones or when we hold our iPads or type on a laptop, there's exchange of energy between the device and the tissues, and that changes the temperature. And the change is very slight, so it's truly not such a big health risk. But then there is a matter of non-thermal radiation, and it's the non-thermal radiation that is dangerous to our health, because EMF releases so much calcium, and we're just not equipped to deal with it. It gets inside our cells, it breaks our DNAs, our tissues, our cells, it weakens our immune system. So it literally just obliterates our bodies. If anybody really interested, to listen and learn more about it, I would recommend Dr. Marcola and Martin Paul. The two of them have done a lot of study into EMF and the dangers of health and the health that it's, how it impacts our health. So what are the side effects? I mean, energy, obviously, that's the topic for today's conversation, and that's massive. Sleep disturbances, insomnia, headaches, depression, tiredness, even weight gain, believe it or not, because if you think about it, if EMF weakens our immune system, and when our immune system is weakened, our gut health, it affects our gut health, and that can lead to weight gain. So indirectly, talking on a phone or working too much on a laptop can actually make you put quite a lot of pounds. It can also make you lose pounds, but most of the time we end up gaining them. Irritability, dizziness, ADHD in children, and so much more. These are not even the most serious side effects. I personally know, I've got a colleague who's got a client in America. When the 5G transmitter were put up outside his house, he developed a brain tumor. And even, luckily they operated in time, so it was all removed, he was all clear, and he was getting such bad headaches and dizziness even after the operation. He actually thought that the tumor returns. So he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, you're all clear, so here are the drugs, go home and medicate. I've got more clients like that, with breast cancer when the 5G came up, and some families just packed up and moved. But not everybody's in a position where they can just, pick up and move, especially if you've got children involved. And we don't have 5G here in UK, but it's coming, and so will 6G. And the thing is, the difference, between 5G and all the other Gs is that it doesn't travel through the objects, which is why you can't just have one transmitter sending the signals out, and why we need these little transmitters everywhere. And they're going to be outside our houses, playgrounds, schools, doctors, literally everywhere. We're also going to have satellites, bombarding us with this electromagnetic radiation. So we need to stay on top of the game. We need to educate ourselves and obviously, take care of our health and health of our loved ones. So what are the other EMF emitting devices? I've already mentioned quite a few. And in fact, I've actually created like a checklist. And if for those of you who want, I will be more than happy to share it. So you can even just walk around your house and see, what gadgets you have, because most of which you probably never even thought about. I mean, microwave is the obvious one, baby monitors. And I mean, that just grinds me up because most of them are wireless and parents tend to leave them next to the head of the babies. So if you know of any parents with babies and baby monitors, either throw them away or just buy them for Christmas, the one that actually plugs into the wall, and also just keep them away from the head. The dimmer lights, the Wi-Fi boosters, and amounts of times I've heard parents complaining that the children can't sleep or they're anxious or whatever the problem is. My first question would be, what's in your child's bedroom? And majority of them will say we put a Wi-Fi booster so, so the internet is faster. And that's another thing to watch out for. Just, you know, just pay attention to all of these gadgets. So what can we do? Well, I mean, this is like a bit of extreme there. I mean, we can't really demolish all of this because they do make our lives easier, and otherwise we wouldn't be here talking to you today. It just wouldn't be possible. There are some, you know, common sense things you can do. I've got kids. I know how much they love the gadgets, but they're aware of it, especially my son. He would put his phone on a pillow rather than holding it in his hand if he's, you know, watching a TV. Switch it off or put it on a flight mode. And I know people tell me, oh, I'm so careful with it. You know, I put the Wi-Fi off at night. I put my phone on fly mode. But at the end of the day, if you think about it, you know, if you've got your hand and you take a hammer and you smash it for 16 hours, and then you pause for 8 hours, it's still going to hurt. Same thing with EMF. You're still going to be bombarded with it all day long. So turning it at night, yeah, I mean, good, but it's still not going to solve the whole issue. The most important thing, just don't carry it in your body. You know, I mean, get like maybe like a casing for your phone, get like a pouch or a bag, and just carry it there somewhere. There is also a lot of third-party tools. Some people, you know, I mean, I know some people that painted their house in EMF paint. Dr. Mercola, for example, he built himself a Faraday cage and he sleeps in it. But that's, for me personally, that's another extreme. So you just need to, I guess, figure out whatever resonates with you. For me personally, it was a product called EMF Shields. And this is where I'm going to come back to Nature's Frequencies. That's the company I've partnered with. So the EMF Shields has been manufactured by them for the past 8 years, has been independently laboratory tested, HRV tested, and a lot of our medical practitioners who have been using them for the past 8 years have also done muscle testing on them. So before I carry on further, actually, with this and the benefits of it, I want you to watch a 5-minute video. It's only 5 minutes, so you can put your feet up, go grab some popcorn if you want to, and it will explain to you more about the EMF Shields and also how it was put through the test live on Australian News earlier this year. So I'm just going to stop sharing this, and this is it. Let me just share my screen now, and let me know, guys, when you can see this. That's not what I wanted to share. One sec. There we go. Can you see the YouTube video?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Okay, fine.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the program. Well, we live in a high-tech world, and the signals that are around us while out of sight might be messing with our minds. While the mobile phone debate surrounding their effect on our health continues to rage, companies are coming up with all sorts of devices and gadgets to combat the ill effects, if there are any. A phone micro shield promising protection has now arrived in Adelaide, so we put it to the test.
Our energy isn't designed to be bombarded with all this electromagnetic radiation every day.
If we could see all the electromagnetic fields around us, we'd be quite frightened.
We're surrounded in signals.
I think it's the root cause of a lot of cancers.
3G, 4G, now 5G is coming to a suburb near you.
It is a big health issue, and it's only going to get worse.
The big telcos will tell you there's nothing to see here.
It's a bit like the cigarette companies saying that tobacco wasn't a problem.
Electromagnetic radiation is what mobile phones emit. The question is it in harmful doses?
I've seen enough patients already with sickness from mobile phone use.
Adelaide health professionals like naturopath Dr. Jeffrey Bryant and Deborah Regari from the House of Healing say it's downright dangerous.
many in the scientific field today are very concerned as well.
I had a woman came in here once with a 3-week-old baby in a pram with a mobile phone right next to this baby's head playing at music.
But now a tiny wafer-thin shield is being touted as a potential protector of our brain. And when we road tested it, the result was jaw-dropping. Wow. We'll return to that soon, but Tony Mark Seymour, the man who introduced it to Adelaide from the US, reckons he was initially sceptical.
Most of these devices don't work, and in fact, some of them can have a negative effect.
The EMF Shield uses so-called quantum physics to assist the body to counterbalance these negative signals from phones. But do we really need to be shielded? Well, the only large study into a link between mobile phones and brain cancer was funded by the mobile phone companies.
But even that study hinted at a relationship between high usage of mobile phones, more than half an hour a day, and brain cancer.
Neurosurgeon Dr. Charlie Teo says his patient records turn up some chilling coincidences, like a man who used his company mobile constantly.
He died of brain cancer. All 4 partners in the company died of brain cancer, and then his wife rang us up 2 years after he died to say that the secretary, who was also on the mobile phone, died of brain cancer.
Telstra pointed us towards the World Health Organisation's ruling on the matter.
To date, no adverse health effects have been established as being caused by mobile phone use.
But delving deeper, WHO has classified radio frequency electromagnetic fields as emitted by mobile phones as possibly carcinogenic to humans based on an increased risk of glioma, a malignant type of brain cancer.
So I do know that if you're exposed enough to EMR, you will get brain cancer and you'll die from it.
Now the test. I spent 10 minutes with my mobile phone against my ear, had a thermal image snapped, and the result floored me and my crew. Not only hot, but white hot in the ears region. The EMF shield was then attached to the back of the phone, another 10 minutes on it. This time the image snapped was cool.
I would love to see more detailed investigation as to how it works, what it actually does to the radio signals, so that we can actually understand, the effect that you saw in the thermal imaging that you did.
Computer systems engineer Dr. Paul Gardner-Stephen from Flinders Uni says while it's possible to shield phones from radiation, he's not sure there's a risk.
In that regard, I would say that the jury, I think, is still out, at least from what I've read.
The more people that are exposed to this technology and these devices, the better.
And details on the shield are on our website, and we contacted the TGA to get their thoughts on the device. Their statement is also on our website.
Right, let me go back to the presentation. Okay, phone current slides. Okay, can everybody see it? Cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short little Oscar-nominated movie and understand a bit more about the EMF shields and its benefits, most importantly. So I've already mentioned that for the past 8 years, medical practitioners, mostly in America, have been using these products. And I've caught up with a number of them. One of them actually is holistic dentist, Dr. Joseph Goth. And he said he's got about 30 to 40 shields in his practice. He sticks them literally everywhere, even on CT scans and X-ray machines, obviously the printers, the wireless printers especially. So the things with EMF shields to understand is that they don't block EMFs, they don't block the radiation. You do get blockers out there, but it's not really, doesn't really going to serve you much purpose because it will block the signal of other devices. And then what happens is you are still vibrating at your own frequency. So all of the other frequencies that are not harmonious with our bodies are still going to bombard you. So you're not protected from the laptop next to you, or from the TV, or from the mobile phone next to you. Instead, what these shields do, is they filter out this harmful frequencies of EMF, and they minimize the harmful effects of electromagnetic radiation. So they're designed to be used on phones, on laptops, on Wi-Fi routers, on boosters, on TVs, literally any of the EMF emitting device. And some doctors, actually, I know, they even put them on a hair dryers and the hoovers. I have a client who I've mentioned to you earlier, the guy who had a brain tumor operation. So when he got his EMF shield, he said within hours he could feel the difference. It's been about 4 months now, 5 months, and he's happy, he's healthy. There's no more dizziness, there's no headaches also. So this is just one of the doctors, Dr. Janine Ridgway, and she's been using this for the last 7 years. And even though it says they're designed to last only 1 year, I know that she's got her shields in one of the frames, one of the first shields that was manufactured by Nature's Frequencies, and she just did a muscle testing on it. And I mean, it's still as good as new, really. So they are really long-lasting products. So EMF shields, I've already mentioned, something you put on your gadgets, but then there is another thing that we have, it's called the earthing card. Now, as good as the EMF shields are, but for example, if you've got, let's say, neighbors with Wi-Fi boosters, or you've got, wirings there, or you live close to their power lines, or with the 5G coming out, you may need something extra. And that's what the earthing card is so effective. The earthing card is programmed with frequencies of Earth, and the benefits of earthing have been already documented in 21 science peer-reviewed journals. So even the scientists admit how good it is for us to ground, how good it is for us to walk barefoot, because we absorb the electron from Earth and it energizes our bodies. So with this earthing card, it looks just like this, like a credit card. It protects you from EMF within 3-meter radius. So it's like sorry, guys, can you please mute yourselves? So, so let's say your whole household is protected. When you fly, whenever we can fly again, it's also a great thing to take with you on a flight. I also use it over my food. It changes the frequencies of food and water and the produce. So you can put it, let's say, your glass on top of the earthing card, or on top of that, and it will change the frequencies of water. So your water will become pure and energized. I mean, I use it on water, but not so much, but I do use it on my wine a lot, especially if I open a bottle and I leave it for like 2 to 3 days, it gets corked. So I sit there and I wave and then I enjoy my glass of wine. It makes such a difference. What else? I use it for sleep. I put it in my pillowcase on my daughter when she doesn't sleep, and it settles her down immediately. Some of our medical practitioners, what they do, they actually put like their cream, especially, ladies who are into the beauty, they put cream on an earthing card and then they apply it on the face. And one doctor, she's a world-renowned energy practitioner. She doesn't have a single wrinkle. She looks incredible. And she's like in her mid to end 60s, I believe. And also, for stress, for fatigue, I've got clients with fibromyalgia. I mean, I think you probably understand that the symptoms of fibromyalgia are not pleasant. It's not something, you'd want to live with. And also there is no cure, as far as I know. She was diagnosed 12 years ago and she was told to go home and medicate. That obviously left her, some days completely fatigued. She couldn't get up and have a normal life. Using this card, her levels of energy are so high. There's no more flare-up. She can go on about life as usual. And there's no drugs. There is no chemicals. It's just pure frequencies. And back to our doctor, Dr. Joseph Goth, who's a holistic dentist. He's also a physician. And sometimes he posts pictures of his clients. He'll just sit, with the card just next to the chin because they had like a root canal or whatever procedure. And it takes the swelling off completely within just 10 to 15 minutes. No drugs, nothing, just this. So this is truly amazing. And that lasts 3 years, at least. So this is one of the testimonials. Kate, I met her early this year and she used to be a professional dancer, but about 8 years ago, I can't remember, she had a really bad ankle injury and she couldn't walk without special shoes. She lives in US, very close to the beach, and she was complaining to me that even during summer, she couldn't walk on the sand. So I told her, why don't you go ground, put the feet? She says, I can't walk barefoot. So she got an earthing card, and she got other product called CBD patches, which are programmed with frequencies of CBD. And she put them on her ankle, and the earthing card, like ladies normally do, they'll carry it in the bra. Unless they use it for weight loss, then they carry it next to their tummies. So, and, you know, within a few days, she sent me a picture of her walking barefoot on the beach. And then a week later, she went hiking with her husband into the mountain wearing normal shoes. Now, that just blows my mind every single time when I hear this story. So, but for her, I think the most important thing was to get sleep, because she was really struggling. She's got a little girl, and now she said she's sleeping and she's walking, which is just incredible. So, so yes, I mean, EMF is a big thing that drains our energy. It literally sucks that life force out of us. And if you're feeling fatigued, not on top of your game, do you watch out for EMFs? Do your study, do your research, do your due diligence, whether you want to use EMF shields, paint your house, switch your phone, whatever it is, but just take some kind of action if you're not already. And lastly, I wanted to mention the benefits of nitric oxide, and it's something I experienced personally with my mom. So with nitric oxide, it was deemed a miracle molecule back in '92. And the scientists who discovered the benefits of it were actually awarded a Nobel Prize in '98. Now, we naturally produce nitric oxide, but due to environmental stresses or the diet we eat or how lazy we are because we don't exercise, whatever it could be, we produce less and less of it. And that can cause heart disease, circulation problem, memory fog, Alzheimer's, fatigue, and so much more. So the nitric oxides, I mean, the Nitro patch that we have, it's programmed with frequencies of nitric oxides. And when you place it on your body only absorbs the frequencies it needs and amount it needs whenever it needs them. And I'm going back to the story of my mom. She's got a thyroid and restless leg syndrome and fatigue. And with restless leg, I just thought your legs are restless. I didn't realize what it actually was. But she tells me that she used to get such bad cramps in the morning that she struggled to get out of bed. And I remember when I was pregnant with my daughter, I remember this cramps that would just, oh my gosh, the pain was excruciating, worse than any labor pain I went through. And now she had to live with it every single day. And then at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, she would collapse with this like mindless movie on her laptop in bed. So 2-3 weeks ago, I can't remember now, I found her downstairs scrubbing my floor at 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? She says, I've got so much energy. And I was like, would you like more patches, please? No, but like, seriously, I've never seen my mom like that. An amazing thing also, she told me she hasn't had a single cramp since day one that she put them on. So her energy levels are up. She's not cramping anymore. And hopefully, you know, she will finally get enough time to go for blood tests just to measure, you know, the thyroid, how that's also improved, which I'm sure it has. And also, by the way, if you're big into sports like running, swimming, whatever it could be, that really enhances your athletic performance. I'm definitely going to use it when I go skiing. And lastly, I wanted to show this to you. So this was one of our clients. She had Alzheimer's and she passed away last month, I believe, but that was a couple of years ago. And she was withdrawn and angry. She wouldn't feed herself, wouldn't dress herself. And this is like a few days later using the Nitro patches. So daughter also sent another picture where her mom is holding knife and fork and she's actually chatting to her. So she got her mom back just in a week, just by boosting her levels of nitric oxide. So this is the team behind it. It's father and two sons. They've been around for the last 8 years and they've got laboratory in America, Massachusetts. They won multiple awards for these products and featured on also many channels, many news. I'm going to skip to here. Now, who can benefit? Well, everybody, you know, even if you're 100% healthy like I am, I think EMF Shields is a must, especially if you've got children. Whether you love food, we've got food freshness card that can extend the lifespan of food by up to 50% and can also be used for gut health. You just sit with it on your tummy. You can sleep on it. It improves your sleep. parents, obviously there's always nowadays, there's business opportunities. If you're interested, get in touch with me or Imani or whoever brought you in here. And yeah, practitioners, you know, so anybody can really benefit from this amazing technology, and travelers when we can travel again. Because obviously if you think amount of radiation up on an airplane, you know, and you've got this earthing couch, not only protecting yourself, you're saving humanity, and that's what we all want. That's why we're all here, right? So finally, please get in touch with us. That's me, that's Imani. I'm going to also share in the link a booking form, like an application form, if you guys wanted us to give you a call or like an email or something, organize a chat. If you had any more questions, you'll be able just to type in your details, and we will be in touch. So now we'll have time for Q&A.